Ask Reddit by Freeman00007. What's the worst drug ever? Fentanyl. I was addicted to that shit for 6 years and was homeless. The amount of shit I lost, the number of people who died, it's crazy. The 18th of March was my 2 years clean. I'm finally living a good life. Well done. I'm Gen X, all my dead friends died from heroin. Edited to @YesPunk and HC. I see a bunch of you were there too. Right on the fringe of Gen X millennial, so I've got a little bit of both heroin fentanyl, but fentanyl seems to be taking them out so much quicker. One of my closest friends died 7 years ago from fentanyl. His wife still posts about how much she and their daughter miss him. The daughter is 13 now and he fucking missed all of it. Was literally in fucking med school when he OD'd. Had such a bright future that got squandered cause we thought it'd be fun to take pills in high school. Most of us took different paths. He didn't, and it breaks my heart, over and over and over again. Fentanyl in my city turns the homeless community into zombies for hours. I remember when fentanyl was what shitty dealers were cutting their heroin with, that was killing people. Blew my mind when I heard that people were just straight up doing fentanyl. Meth. Former user who's been clean since 2006 to 2007. I'm 34 now and in a happy place. Edit. To those who've praised me for being sober this long. From the bottom of my heart and the happy tears, thank you so much for your kind words. My family showed very little or no emotion to me being sober. Seeing strangers congratulate me on this, I can't stop crying from all your words. Thank you again. You were doing meth as a teen? That's brutal. Happy for your sobriety. Meth. It can take the kindest person in the world and turn them into a monster. I know because I was said monster when I was hooked on it. No drug is harsher on the body than meth, and the way it destroys the dopamine receptors in your brain is horrifying. I've been sober for 1.5 years and I know I will never experience pleasure the same way again. Honorable mentions: Datura, fentanyl, crocodile, xylazine, bath salts. I've done research chem bath salts, was addicted to them really. I'll probably never experience pleasure the same way again, either. Makes it really hard to be sober. I've been sober for nearly 2 years. Meth is absolutely rampant in my hometown and over half the people I graduated with who stayed there are either dead, incarcerated, or headed for one of those two options soon. I'm 31. It is absolutely insane. There's also fentanyl and heroin going around, but meth is the big one. I think they're about equal, but, generally, opioids kill you quickly while meth is a gradual, ugly death. In my case it was Xanax. You're the first person I've seen mention benzos, but they would be way up on the list for me as well. They turned me into a sociopath, and the withdrawals were the most traumatizing thing I've ever experienced. Hands down. Most damage all time: alcohol. Goat for ruined lives since ancient times. Quicksar. Alcohol is actually a known carcinogen. https://www.int/04-0-1-2023-no-level-of-consumption-is-safe-for-our-health closed bracket comma and has been for decades now. It isn't merely linked to cancer like most publications claim. It directly and verifiably causes cancer by itself. It is designated a Group 1 carcinogen by the world's foremost cancer research organization, the IARC. That's on the same level of asbestos and radiation. This truth is very well hidden by the alcohol industry. Crack is fucking stupid. It gets you super high for 5 seconds, then the worst withdrawals ever right after. You just end up smoking more crack to keep the withdrawals away. You unironically would have a better time doing meth or keyboard cleaner. Crack has some of the mildest withdrawals out of all hard drugs. Benzos, alcohol or opiates are much worse in terms of withdrawals. Crack is very addictive though, and it'll take everything from you in the blink of an eye. Carfentanil. Dangerous opioids are 10,000 times more potent than morphine and 100 times more potent than fentanyl. Holy shit, I just went down a rabbit hole with carfentanil. Quite literally a piece smaller than a grain of salt will kill you. Absolutely nuts. Crocodile and xylazine combined with heroin are both fairly screwed up. Xylazine, mixed with fentanyl, is turning people into the Walking Dead, rotted limbs and all. When you see the wheelchair people with bandages on their hands, arms, feet, legs, that's xylazine. Alcohol damn near ruined my brain and my life. Crocodile, it was like heroin but with gasoline in it, really only found in Russia. It caused your skin to turn green and then rot off. I don't think it's around anymore because fentanyl is cheaper and it was just a drug for people too poor for heroin. I remember when this was huge. My friend was studying drug addiction in school, can't remember the degree lol, and I remember asking why would anyone take it knowing your skin would fall off, and he replied with, how do they know what they're taking? They were offered drugs and took it. That made me see addiction in a whole new light. Crocodile or that angel's trumpet or whatever. Turning people into mindless zombies. Edit, spelling error. Scopolamine. I'm a police officer and I would 100% say alcohol. No other drug comes near to as being so destructive to society. I would say 80% of domestic incidents I go to involves alcohol, and the vast majority of domestic abuse is fueled by alcohol. Families can't go out in the evening of their local town city because they don't feel safe from all the drunken idiots who are fighting, and not to mention other offenses, such as driving over the prescribed limit. I enjoy a drink as much as the next person. But I don't think your average person understands how many of society's problems are caused by alcohol. I'm confident, if alcohol was discovered today, rather than thousands of years ago, it would be banned everywhere. This is the real answer. Synthetic marijuana Racus by Saka K2. It's something that's more destructive than crack, heroin and meth. It's beyond worse. Watch some prison videos on them guys getting high. All those guys are chilling high feeling good. They're all in a warped reality of pure hell and their bodies are physically being manipulated by the stuff that's causing them to suffer and smother. And it causes someone to be so petrified with what seems no way out. They can look at someone they known their whole life and attack them and try to kill them cause they are that far out of it mentally. It's scary and next to impossible to quit. For the longest time I thought crack was, then meth came along, and now fentanyl takes hold, and there's no comparison. Fentanyl is a death sentence. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. If you want to expand on the category, alcohol has ruined more families and nicotine from smoking has buried more. I did fentanyl by accident and I regret it. Tough, I'd be doing MDMA this night. If you're not aware, you can be fent test strips. I test all the drugs I do. You can also buy xylazine test strips. Cigarettes don't even do anything. Other drugs fuck up your life, sure, but at least they get you high for your trouble. Tobacco high is so mild it's easier to notice when it's not there vs when it is. Even caffeine is stronger. And everything about them is just unpleasant. They burn your fingers, your mouth, the smell gets into everything, and they yellow the walls in your house. They numb your taste buds and dull your appetite. I just don't understand why they're still so popular. Obviously they're not the most dangerous drug, but I think as far as drugs go, cigarettes do it the worst. Pathetic, honestly. Pitiful, even. Alcohol ruins health, families, lives. It's legal and if you don't drink it, people act like there's something wrong with you. Edit, my most upvoted comment. Thank you for sharing your experiences and thoughts with me on this subject. Second edit, to those of you who feel the need to defend alcohol. I'm worried about you. The worst of them all because it is 100% acceptable and you can get it just about anywhere. Amphotericin B, strong antifungal, is called amphoterrible for a reason. The list of probable side effects goes on and on. Modern formulations of amphotericin, for example ambisum, are much safer and less unpleasant than the original. For me, it was methamphetamine. I went from a casual cocaine user, a weekend warrior. Tried meth, it was much cheaper, lasted longer, and I loved it. Lost my job, girlfriend, and got evicted in about 6 months. Luckily, I was able to quit after about a year. It messed me up a bit 4 years after, and I still have a hard time focusing. Now, with fentanyl out there, you would be crazy using any illegal drug. The people who make these substances are among the worst criminals in the world and don't care about the damage and deaths that they cause. These days, my speedball is a large coffee and an occasional bong hit. Alcohol, hands down, ruined more lives than all the others combined. This sneaky killer. Probably the #1 killer in the world, but stats don't do it justice. Many a stroke, seizure, heart attack, some cancers are directly related to alcohol, alcoholism or withdrawal, but the death certificate won't say that. Marijuana. I know a guy who smoked a whole weed once and his dick flew off. Hummus. My first shot was thanks to hummus.